And there is Amanda Johnson, who we were just talking about you behind your back. So all good, all good.
Well, of course it's all good. What else would it be?
All right, you guys. Rebecca, you want to just take it away? Everybody already knows you.
Okay. So thank you all for coming today. I just want to quickly ask you guys, what kind of do you guys have email lists? Let's start there. Do you have an email list? What size is your list?
Yes. Who wants to go first? Just unmute yourself and go, girl, ladies
Just
I do not.
and gentlemen.
And that's why I was
Yes.
interested in the training.
You wait a minute.
Yeah.
You don't, Carol?
I do not have.
Oh my gosh.
A huge Rolodex.
She
How
has
could
like
you
seven.
not?
I know. She has like 7,000 LinkedIn.
They're all in
people
here.
the
They're
group.
And so that's why I'm really, really excited to learn more about it.
Very good. Very good. Anybody else want to share their list size? I know Marisa has a book coming out, and hers, she just started, so it's probably fairly small at this point.
I have an email list, just what I took out of my phone, and we put it on a template, and it's like close to 2,000.
Okay.
Nice,
Now,
very nice.
yeah, you can't put that into the system we built because you have to get an opt-in, but you can reach out and ask them to opt in.
Yes, I would. What would I do? Send them an email or send them a text and ask them to opt in, correct?
I would send them over to your landing page and ask them to opt in. So include your landing page link on there since you have it.
We're gonna talk about a lot of ways to grow your email list today.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I'll let her take it. I'm
Okay.
gonna zip it
Okay.
up.
No, you're good. That was one of the ways. We're gonna go through that.
Mine's about
So
575.
awesome. Okay. Now there's a lot of people saying that email is dead, but how many times do you guys look at your email a day? Yeah.
Several.
So it's I wouldn't say it's dead. And there's a few reasons I do love having a good email list. And one of those is this is data that you own. So now I've seen this happen before where Mark Zuckerberg decides that he wants Facebook to do something else. He changes that algorithm, and then all of your exposure is gone in one click of a button on his end. So it's one of those things that we don't know what algorithms or changes are going to come our way. All we can do is collect data and collect our audience in our own system so that we always have access to them. And we always want to make sure that we are providing a good experience for them and that we do give them the option to opt out or unsubscribe, because don't take that personally. If someone just no longer needs your emails, that's okay. We want them to go. We want to keep a clean list, and we want to keep a list that is going to have the best open rates and have good interaction. So don't feel bad if someone is moving on from your list. It's okay. So as we get into this, I want you guys to keep an open mind because there's a lot of ways to grow your list, and we can have some fun with it. So let me just get my slides front and center for you. Okay. And welcome to all the people that are hopping in right now. Okay, so we're going to talk about ways to grow your email list and then some really cool things that High Level can do for us to help keep those people on our list. And one of the fun things that you may not know about High Level, if you're doing a lot of in-person networking and people are handing you their business cards, the High Level app has a business card scanner, and it will scan the card, put the contact information right into your CRM, so you don't have to worry about it. Because if you're anything like me, you come home with like business cards, right? And you're like, okay, now I got to enter all these things in. It's really great. I like to scan them as I meet people. And I've actually been trying to also, this is a fun networking fact. I've been trying to also take selfies with those people. So A, I remember who I was talking to, and B, when I go to follow up, they remember who I am as well. So know that you can make it easier to put people into your system if you are using that business card scanner. All right, so email marketing. We were just talking about how many times we're in our email each day and how we do own that data, and that's great. There's still a lot of the ROI on email is way higher than all the other avenues out there. So it's still a very viable marketing avenue.
So I was eating a hard-boiled egg.
And again, we get to control
Uh-oh.
that
That's
that audience. So when we're talking about building our email list, I do love me some lead magnets. And lead magnets, in my definition, are a piece of content that's going to deliver tremendous value that the person that's joining your list will have, like, no option but to really want this lead magnet and get what you are offering, solve a problem. So we can offer that in forms of ebooks and checklists and discounts or whatever it is that we want to put out there. Now, when it comes to actually sharing these lead magnets and getting those people, that can be another thing you want to plan out pretty well. But if you also kind of insert them in somebody's path as they go through your site. So for example, let's say you have a blog post about email marketing. And inside of the blog post, maybe there's a thing in there that says, if you want my ultimate checklist for emails or my top 50 subject lines or something like that, that goes with that blog post, they're already there. They're interested in growing their email list because they're there on your blog. So if you add what I call a content upgrade, which is a fancy word for a lead magnet within content, and you can get them to join your list because you've offered them something that is going to automatically increase what they're learning from you already. So you can sprinkle them in and put them in places where people are automatically going to be there. And then you want to make sure you're cross-promoting those things too. So think about what you can also put inside of the lead magnets email sequence. So I feel like there's many people I have worked with that created a lead magnet. Let's say they created an ebook. They send those out. They send an email out to deliver the ebook. And then they end up putting the person on their main list. So the person gets the ebook, and then they start getting these other random emails. It can be a little bit of a disconnect. We want to make sure that our emails are really guiding them on the journey to where they want to be. And you do have an opportunity to really connect with people that way. So if you are checking out some lead magnets, that's a great way. You can offer those things to your audience and tell them to share with anyone they think would make use of it. You can put them inside of your existing content. And of course, you can share it on social media. You can, put them anywhere you want, get the links out there. And it's also a great way if you are speaking or doing an event that you have a lead magnet that people can get for free, because it's your way of capturing all those people in the audience. Now, you also may have a ton of people following you on TikTok, like Carol, and you want to bring them into
it's
your
Chinese.
No.
So,
I'm not on it.
Oh.
This speak.
thank you. So, if you do have any people on any social media platform and you want to get them in to your email list, lead magnets are great for that. So if you imagine sending out to all of your followers saying, I have this awesome guide, you're going to love it, it's going to do XYZ for you. And that's how you can get them to be in your system. So in case the algorithm changes, they're still with you. Now, another way to build your email list is through pop-ups and the sign-up forms on your website. We don't want to discount those. Some people absolutely hate exit pop-ups. They don't want to do that to other people, but to be honest, they perform really well. And it's not to say that you have to have the most annoying ones, because you don't want one that's popping up like every time you go to a page after 15 seconds. That's going to get old super quick. But if you can make it so that maybe they see the pop-up once a day, or depending on, how often they're going to the site, like if it's something where they're logging in for membership, once a day may even be a bit much. You may want to switch that to once a week. So think about the people that are using your system and what kind of experience we are providing for them. Yes, we want to get them on our email list, but we don't want to annoy them so that they leave either. And then the other thing that I notice is people asking for all the information for a simple lead magnet. Let's stick to first name and email address. It's like asking someone to marry you on a first date. If you're like, can I have your phone number, your address? It's a bit much. It's like, oh, you want my address for a checklist. It doesn't quite match. So we want to make sure that what we're asking of them aligns with the level that, whatever stage they are in the buyer's journey in our system, let's make sure that what we're asking aligns with that. Okay, so you can, of course, share your email list builders on social media, and you can create, have posts that just promote the lead magnets themselves. So having a strong call to action, letting them know what they're going to get. And we want to be very transparent. And anytime somebody joins either our main mailing list or a lead magnet email sequence, we want to be transparent about what kind of content they would get from us, especially if they're just joining your email list. That's a great opportunity to say, this is the kind of emails I send out. These are the topics I typically go through. This is the frequency that I have. Like, let them know what to expect. We don't want to say, you're going to get an email once a month and then they get like 5 emails a month. We want to make sure that we're managing those expectations, because we don't want unhappy people on our list. That's when they hit the spam button. And we do not want that. Unsubscribe is okay, but the spam button can actually, count against your delivery rates. Just noticing that there's a couple questions in here. Yes, so you can also have QR codes that people can scan. Absolutely. If you're at an event, make that super easy for them. And then, the CTA is the call to action. And we want to, with anything that you put out, you do want to have some kind of call to action. Whether it's enjoy this and share with a friend, or, go back to the website to read the rest. Tell them what to do. If we don't tell people what we want them to do, they're not going to do it. And you can also, of course, look at paid ads and things like that if you want to run them. I have actually, because lead magnets are typically lower risk for people, I've been able to get, if we run the Facebook lead ads or the Meta lead ads, we can get people in. I've gotten them for one of my Canadian clients, and it's like 86 cents Canadian per lead. So if you have a good lead magnet out there, you can have a smaller budget and get people to sign up on that too. Another fun thing is contests and giveaways. And get ready to write this down. Here's a site where you can run free contests, and it's called King Sumo. There's a few different products out there like AppSumo and King Sumo, and there's another one, another Sumo, but they have a few different products. I love their contest builder. There is a free version of it as well. And what it does is, let's say you're going to, for example, there's a local nonprofit near me that was at my networking meeting this morning, and they are having a concert that has people playing that everyone else seems to enjoy, but I don't even know who they are. But we know it's a good cause. So I was thinking, let me buy a set of tickets for this, and then I'm going to do a contest through King Sumo and give these tickets away. So it'll help the nonprofit. And what I can do is, in King Sumo, we can create a contest that, let's say they opt in for the contest. The next page is going to say, here's how you can earn more entries. And that will be sharing your website, or going to like your Facebook page, following you on YouTube. You get a lot more follows and a lot more people in your system with these kinds of contests. and they can increase their chances of winning your grand prize by doing all of those activities that you define ahead of time. So it's a really cool program. And then if you did want to upgrade to the paid version, I want to say it was like $100 a year or something like that. It wasn't too bad. But that's if if you're doing a lot of contests. Otherwise, that free version will carry you a long way. So I do love that kind of stuff. We actually used King Sumo at an event because I don't know if you guys do any kind of in-person events, but me and my networking group did a school supply drive last year. And apparently, if you are collecting money for raffles, it requires a whole new level of insurance. It requires the police department to be on site. It was like all of these things. And I said, let's do a digital raffle then. And we just made QR codes for each person's raffle through King Sumo. They entered the raffle, and then all of the businesses actually got more likes on their pages. And they, of course, got the emails to add to their system. So it is a fun way to get some attention. Okay, now everyone in here, I bet, is really big on collaborations because we're all in Juliet's space, and Juliet's like the queen of collaboration. So this is another way that we can, that we can collaborate with the people that we're working with all the time, the people that we're networking with. So let's say, Carol, if you had something that, a lead magnet that worked for my audience, it would be great for me to share that on your behalf. And maybe there's an affiliate link that I'm sharing with your, sharing your email to my audience so that if they do end up purchasing, that credit will come back to me. People are usually typically pretty open to those kinds of collaborations. Do you guys have any collaborations that you've done recently that you want to share?
I just have a couple of big things that are just percolating. They haven't landed, but they're percolating from in India and Dubai. And so anyways, yeah.
Okay. Hey, that's all we can do is continue to connect and deliver the product, Okay. Now, after we get all these people on our email list, there's a few things we want to do. We want to make sure that we can segment in the way that we want. And segmenting can be a lot of different things. So like what you're seeing here, we can look at their behavior. So let's say it was anything from like somebody went to a page on your website. Let's say they went to a product page and they didn't purchase. You can create a segment that says, hey, we saw that you were here and you didn't, you didn't check out, or let's say they left it in the cart. You can create those kinds of things. So based on their behavior. And then let's say in your business, I'll use a coaching business, for example. With the coaches I work with, they tend to kind of focus on different areas of your life. So you may have like your health and wellness, love and relationships. So let's say that somebody comes in for a lead magnet and they have gone to the love and relationships lead magnet. We can then tag them with that's something that they're interested in, and then we can send them other information that can help in that area of their life. So we can offer them more based on what it is they're actively looking at. So in this way, I know sometimes it's like, oh, people are really watching me that closely. It's not, it's not like I can go in and say, oh, there's Amanda going through the funnels, and this is, we have a general sense of what they're doing. But it does allow us to create content and create emails to them that they're like, oh, yes, I need this. And if you're going to read emails, don't you want the emails that you're going to read? Like, don't you want that to be so personalized to you? But you can really segment them on a lot of different things. So like, let's say it's location or where they are in the buyer's journey. You can do a lot of things there. And High Level does make that pretty easy. So a few things, email campaigns that you can have in here just to get yourself started. The welcome sequences. These are really important. This is going to set the tone for how you work with somebody. So if somebody found their way to your email list, we want them to know who you are as a business owner, as a person. People don't tend to really do business with big businesses anymore. They are looking to connect with people and support individual people. They want to work with people that they know are good people, and not just like, a corporation lining their pockets with money. They want to know that it's going to a good cause. That's all of our, younger millennials and Gen Zers, like they all made that shift where we want to work with other people. So if you can really allow yourself to be seen in that welcome sequence, it'll go a long way. And remember too, there's not many opportunities that you're going to have to tell somebody everything that you do, because you're going to have to continue to say it over and over again. I don't know, you guys may have heard before that my family has no idea what I do. They ask me all the time. I explain it to them. They have no idea. So if your family doesn't know and your friends don't know all the time, your email list isn't going to know either. So when you are creating those sequences, you have, and it doesn't all have to be in one email, like space it out, let them know all the ways that you can support them. And then the drip campaigns for any of your lead magnets or anything like that, we want them timed out. We want it to be methodical. And then personalizing wherever you can. So one of the great things about High Level is there's so many ways to personalize beyond just the first name. We have hi first name in our emails. In this case, you can also, like ways that I've used this with High Level is, say one of my coaches was doing an event. They had set an intention for that event, so they have to submit it in a form. And then after the event, we're able to say your intention was, and then literally put their words back in there in the email from what they filled out. And we can ask if they felt like that was met, like if they had reached that intention. But there's other ways like that where I like using those kinds of personalizations to show people the progress they've made. Because that's one of those, how often do we do a lot of great things, but we're not looking back to count our wins? And those forms and the personalization in the email with High Level allows me to say, like, this is where you were 6 months ago. So think about how far you've come and think about where you are now. And it allows the person to really connect your service to their successes. So some of the high level features we have here, of course, there's automation. They have a visual builder and they have templates so that you can, be professional all the time. And of course, they have the analytics. Now, I've been working with, building my email list of myself and trying to increase my open rates. And I've gotten to about a 60% open. And it wasn't until I really started, I don't like being vulnerable in my emails. Like once I started doing that and just kind of talking about, I'm calling them like Seinfeld emails, like they're emails about nothing, but it's like things that I'm experiencing, new things that I'm trying out, how I'm feeling about stuff. There's no like, for the most part, there's no like main topic. So I call them the Seinfeld emails, but they are doing pretty well. Now, when you start with any new kind of bulk email system, you do want to warm that system up. Actually, before I get into that, let me just take a quick check and see how we're all doing. Does anyone have questions that I can answer about lead magnets or growing your list?
So if you have a personal video that instead of having it typed form, but you have it a video form and the link, did you do any testing on that? And is that an idea that's good or?
Are you talking about using a video as the lead magnet?
Well, not only is lead magnet, even in the following sequences. So you're building the relationship much more personalized because they're getting to know you and you're getting, right, vicariously, you're building that friendship through the
Agreed. And the way I've used videos in emails, because you can't just like put a video in because video files are way too big to send out via email. So you'll notice a lot of times you have to do like a YouTube link. But another option that you have is a lot of the programs now will create a, whether you call it GIF or GIF, um, they will create one of those, and it looks like the video is starting to play in the email when you do that. So if you have a, you can pop a play button on there, but just have the, like right in Canva, you can make these things. So it looks like you have the GIF, which is basically playing a couple seconds of the video without audio. And then once they click it to hear it, what you're saying, it'll open up to a new page where the video will play. So that's how I found those to do best. I have been, I always test like click here to watch a video versus having that preview in there. The preview does tend to help. Yeah.
Rebecca, what was it that you called a lead magnet within the content?
I called it a content upgrade.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else, or should I go back into it? Okay. Okay, so now as we're getting into a new email system, you always want to warm up the email provider. This is how we can make sure that our delivery rates are good, because we don't want to go in and then basically like send out a whole blast for like 3,000 people. And then if there's a bunch of bounces, it's going to immediately shut the domain down from sending for a minute. So we can start small, get like 10 people and say, I'm going to send you an email. I need you to open the email and I need you to click on something or engage with it in some way. And you do like a couple rounds of that. And then typically after that, the system is they feel more confident in you. And then with each new like high level account, they automatically keep your delivery numbers lower until you hit about the first week, and then you can kind of go from there. So you can ramp up that sending and increase it as little by little. So once it sees that you don't have a ton of bounces and you don't have a bunch of people marking you as spam or unsubscribing, then it'll be nicer to you and your delivery rates will go up. Okay, so how do we want to move forward from here? So we want to look at how you can grow that email list in multiple ways. So if you have a great lead magnet, like for me, I just switched basically my lead magnets to now the Coaching Business Magazine. That's going to be the ultimate lead magnet for me. And I wanted to make sure that I had something really great to share with people. I don't want it to be a lead magnet that I'm trying to get other people to share on my behalf and people are like, oh, this isn't working, the tech's not good. We want to make sure that it has a great experience attached to it, because anyone that's going to collaborate with you also wants that great experience for their people. And then we can focus on the subscriber experience once they get into your system. And remember, like messaging them doesn't always have to be email. You can do text messages. You can do other things like that. If you have an app through High Level, you can send a push notification. Like there's a lot of different ways that you can engage with people and keep it a little more human. And we don't want to, like I will use ChatGPT to make my emails sound a little bit better, but we don't want to use straight AI chat because you can tell when it's AI chat that they use words that we don't use in regular conversational language. So we don't want people feeling like they were an afterthought. We want them to feel loved and cared for in our system. And then my last tip is to educate your readers, and Carol can attest to this. If you answer people's questions that they are actively looking for, they will respond to you. So we want to know that anyone that we're working with is going to be a good fit for us. So that's a great place to start, is by answering those questions. So your lead magnets can come from those questions. And yeah. And that is it for the slides. So I wanted to go through and see if anyone had specific questions about growing their list or nurturing their people. But then I did also pull up, and I'll get it ready, the different types of emails that we can send out, like different, I guess, the categories of emails. So who has a question? No, I wasn't that clear.
Rebecca, on identifying the demographics of the different emails, I know other people have used Bank. I don't
Mhm.
use Bank, but can that be set up so you identify in the bank system?
I don't know what Bank is, honestly.
It is how they process their information, and and Bill Sterling's is how they communicate, their communication preferences.
Ah,
It's this, Rebecca. It's
thank you.
profiling. It's a basic profiling book. It's actually, she calls it for sales. It's actually a marketing book as well. So it's your basic profile. And by the way, you guys, we have a guy I just want to mention really quickly
Mhm.
who has created AI that will literally, for $97, you input who your avatar is, and it'll give you an entire marketing plan. We just hired him for one of the projects we're working on. So another way outside of bank.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, bring him to the party one of these days.
We will.
Yeah, I mean, there's I do send me the info on that book when you're done. But oh, come on, where is this?
And who's this guy, Juliet?
He's actually one of my clients, and I was asking him to create AI for the company, a company that I'm consulting with, and he did, and I was blown away by not only what it did, but it's a great thing for you to have in front of you when you do a call, like your first call. So I'm not stealing her thunder. Reach out to me if you want to know more.
Um, I will send this all to you. But basically, it went through, I created a guide that uh, you can see the different types of emails. Like there's soap opera sequences, there's the Seinfeld sequences, there's transactional kinds of email, but it gives you a little bit of a tip for each of those styles. And yeah, I mean, it's important that we do grow our email lists, and doing events like this is another way to do that. So if you do have someone that, a group that you feel like what your superpower is will benefit them, reach out, see if you can do a training just for them. Yeah. Does anyone want to share some emails that have done really well for them?
I have one more question before, if that's
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah, of course.
So when you're scanning the card with the app,
Mhm.
can you give it the directive that it's a customer, it's of whatever systems you have that you want to allocate them to through
So
the
if
app
it's
or after?
predefined, I think so when you bring them in there, you can also, as you're saving it, it's creating a profile. So the profile will be there and you can say this is a lead.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay.
Mhm. And in high level, you also have there's like pipelines that you can set up as you're, maybe doing sales, approaching bigger companies to work with, whatever you're doing there. For example, I have pipelines for podcast, me getting on podcasts. So I have the first one is me identifying podcasts I would love to be a guest on, and then the outreach. And for me, I'm visual. So I like seeing the board, seeing where people are, and I like moving people over because it's almost like when I cross something off on a list, like I just feel that satisfaction. So if I can move them over, um, yeah. So they do make it easy in there to keep track of all of that. And you can even have it set up in high level where if you are moving them to a different stage, then there could be an automated email that's attached to that. So let's say it was like, I identified somebody and then they said they were good to that they wanted to set up a meeting. Maybe me moving them to the next stage automatically generates that email, sends it out and saying, here's my booking calendar. And then after they book, it could automatically move them to the next stage for you. So there's ways to automate so many things inside of there. But really, we want to create a wonderful balance of automated and human. Nobody wants to feel like they're automated, Nobody wakes up and they're like, I hope I feel automated today. So, we want people they wake up wanting to feel loved, and we want them to feel that from us. Yeah. Any other questions? Any other things that you guys have done that you would love to share that have worked well for you? We can all learn.
I think for me, one of my biggest things is I personally do not like receiving 9,000 emails from any one person.
Oh, I don't know. I
And-
wonder why.
And so, well, but it's just my perception of it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like reminders for meetings and everything. It's like if I'm attending, you're on my calendar. Do not
Mhm.
send me 7,000 reminders up to the very last minute, especially when I'm driving 2 hours to get there. So for me, it's very, very, very important that my email sequences are very nurturing and are only relevant information. And there is the gold standard of what marketing says you should do for your emails. And what I encourage everyone to do is not necessarily following that every sequence needs to be 13 emails. Do what you are comfortable with, what fits with you, what you can be authentic with. And so most recently, I did a live event, and people who had services with me, they got into a special small niche email that will go forward as I continue to do live events. So building things that are evergreen and that will continue to work, I think is also really important, because then as you grow your list, as you bring new people into the list, they have a starting point that's evergreen, and you're not recreating it every time you run out and meet somebody new. So, but do what's authentic with you, not necessarily. I mean, I had a coach once tell me that every single email needed to be at least 15 emails in a sequence, and I'm like, I can't. I just cannot do it.
No, and you brought up two really good points there. First, if you are doing reminder emails, you have to consider the context. If it's a webinar, yeah, maybe another 15-minute, we're going live in 15 is great. But if it's, in person, maybe just an email that morning saying, hey, it's going to happen today, we don't want to send it 30 minutes from, if Amanda's driving 2 hours to get there, like the 30-minute reminder is useless, And then the second point there is, yeah, don't write emails to write emails. We want them to have a meaning and have an impact on the reader. So if you have a lead magnet and 6 emails tells the whole story and has the offer, you don't have to be like, no, I need to make this 15. Nobody wants the emails that you really had to be like, what am I going to put here? We want it to be more natural coming from you. We want it to be more of a natural next step for them. And I've said this many times, like when you are planning lead magnets, know that whole path that you want them to go on, not just the opt-in for the lead magnet. We want to know where they're going next. And we want that built into whatever it is that we're creating. We want to make it easy for them. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Amanda. Anybody else have questions? Well, let me see. Carol, high level, send me a reminder for my actions needed for my own follow-up. That's a good question. You can make those reminders inside it. So if you're building out an automation, you can include what they call internal notifications. So that can go right to you to say, they've completed this step, now go follow up, if that's what you're looking for. Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else that's been really quiet? Now, I hope you guys got a ton of ideas today. I hope you're feeling inspired. I hope you're ready to go grow your email list. And yeah.
Rebecca, do you want to tell them what next month's about? And we'll start getting it posted over on the Business Acceleration Network.
Let me just see what it was. I gotta
Oh, sorry.
focus on today, right?
Hold on, I might be able to find out too here. Let's see, talks. I
Here we
think
go.
it's CRM. Well, hold on. Don't
I
quote
know.
me on that. May. Thought it was CRMs.
Yes, CRM is next month.
CRM utilizing, yeah. So,
Yes.
how many of you guys have CRMs? Oh my.
Doesn't know what a CRM is.
Oh, yeah, who doesn't know who a CRM is? That's a good
Okay, so
question.
CRM is a customer relationship manager. It is something included in High Level. And really what it does is it allows you to have like a wonderful profile of your leads and your clients. And you can really see everything from like, what emails they were sent. You can see what they've sent you. You can see documents that you've shared. You can see everything that has transpired with this particular lead or client in their profile in the CRM.
Yeah. And you can even see responses because I noticed that I sent out a blast and a couple people responded. And when I opened it up, they were right there. And I was like, oh, I didn't know they could do that. So
Absolutely.
in one place, because it is kind of, when you go to your email and it's 1Z, 2Z, you're missing stuff, it's in spam. So it's nice that it goes back there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice that it's all grouped for that person. So you can see any of their transactions. You can see if they've opened your emails. Sometimes when we're sending things out through our systems the first time, if they haven't interacted with us via email a lot, it may go right to spam. That happens sometimes, but you're able to see like, okay, it did get to you. Maybe check your spam folder because I can see that you didn't open it. The other thing that it also tracks in there is like if you send a proposal out to somebody, you can see if they've read it. You can see if they continue to open it. Like, because I notice people will open it every day and look. I don't know why, and I don't know why I'm looking every day, but you can really have an idea of how they're utilizing your systems. And sometimes we can even see if there's like a break in the chain somewhere or something is broken and not working. So it also allows us to diagnose.
Yeah. Amanda wants to know, can you tell her more about scanning business cards into contacts?
Yeah. So in High Level, their High Level app, there's a business card scanner. Let me see if I can. So if I was, I don't know if you can be able to see this. That's a no, huh? So I'm in the app, I go to the contacts thing on the bottom. And then if I push the blue plus button, it'll say add contact or scan business card. You see it?
Awesome, found it.
Got it. Great. And they keep adding more to the app, by the way. So like before it was just you were able to see invoices and like your appointments. And now you can do you can see the social media stuff on there. You can, there's a bunch more that you can do. So they keep adding more to the app. So hopefully there'll be even more ways for us to connect with others. And inside of High Level is a QR code builder. So if you do have something that you do want to share with a QR code, you can make it right inside of there and keep all your data in one happy place.
Can I mention on that QR code? We had a Wall Street guy last week who suggested that you start putting a QR code on the back of your book that'll lead to a video or a landing page or something like that, which I thought was a brilliant idea because when people buy books from the distributors, you don't know who bought them. So now you might have an opportunity to connect with them with a video. So that QR code can come in really handy to getting some extra visibility and people in your list from bookstore buys or, Amazon buys, things like that. So I'm really excited to start using that.
So I can add to that. So I have a client right now who is publishing a book. They went somewhere else before I could mention you.
Oh,
And I
I'm
know.
turning everybody
Uh,
off. No.
but what they did is, so they are building, very cool, Amanda. They are building so they do mind-body connection work. And they have this whole workbook that they're creating for people to really, get in touch with themselves. And what they did was they added a QR code in there, and they say it's going to what they're calling companion pages. And it's basically, they will put a QR code in if they're trying to demonstrate one of their techniques. It goes to a video. They'll put one in, and it will go to the workbook that they're going through. So right now, like if they scan a QR code inside the book, it's going to go to basically a little online course, and they can go through and look through each chapter. Another fun thing that I'm doing with a different client, this is a little off topic of books, but you may be able to find a way to use it. So I have a client who services well water, and he does like house filters, water filters, that kind of stuff. When he installs something, he noticed that there's people that will go and automatically try to find a plumber if something's not working with the water. So what we're doing is putting a QR code on the filtration system itself that says troubleshoot here. They're going to be able to scan it. It's going to go to a troubleshooting page, and if they don't get it, it automatically connects them to call the office. So there's a lot of ways that you can build your lists, and you can use QR codes to get to keep people where you want them in their journey. So have fun with it. Yeah. Awesome.
So I have one question.
Of course.
When you have someone who might have an attitude that their follow-up says, "Oh, I saw you read 2 pages," or whatever. Do you ever have anybody like that? And then how can we make it into a win?
So I try not to use creepy language when I'm saying it. I'm not like, hey, I was just watching you on the website.
Yeah.
I try to stay away from that. And sometimes I'm like, it looks, I got to notice that maybe something wasn't working on this page. Did you get stuck somewhere?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
I like that one. Thanks for that.
Yeah. We don't want to be creepy stalkers.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take the creepy out of the marketing. Yep. Awesome.
Anybody else? Okay, you guys, and I think most everybody but Billy is on, and Terry too, is part of the Business Acceleration Network. So if you have more questions, go over there. If not, Rebecca, I know Billy's using Go High Level. I don't think Terry is, and I don't think she wants to change, but where can he meet you? Where can he get a hold of you at? Oh, he knows. Wait a minute. He knows.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he knows where to get me. He can definitely get me there. But anyone in the Business Acceleration Network, please feel free to message me. Otherwise, you can visit me at rebeccabertoldi.com.
Very cool. Thanks, you guys. And Dorothy, I'll
Thanks,
see you next. Terry, I'll see you in
This
2
has been-
hours.
This has been fabulous. Thank you very much.
You're
All
welcome.
right.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was great. Thanks very much.
Good to
Thanks,
see you,
Juliet.
Suzanne.
Thanks,
Have a wonderful
Rebecca.
day, everyone.
Very helpful. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. See you guys later.